So it's my great pleasure to be here with Alexander Dill from the Basel Institute from Switzerland.
Yes, Julie.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Great to have you with me today.
Yes, thank you.
So let's talk about social capital.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you define social capital?
Well, I have a hopefully quite easy definition. Social capital is the amount of non-material assets within a community.
Okay.
That's all.
That's all.
Yes.
So non-material assets, what
Yes.
can it be?
Well, it can be friendliness, hospitality, trust,
Yeah.
helpfulness, and a positive social climate resulting on these things, because when people are friendly and helpful, normally they have a great social climate. So these are very few indicators building social capital. In my definition, there are quite different definitions of social capital, but that's the one I make.
Okay. So how many years have you been working with, understanding or researching about social capital?
Well, of course, my whole life. So I'm a sociologist, and when I made my FD, it was 30 years ago. So in my whole life, I tried to discover what society is about, and then I discovered that what we call social capital, and I focus on the not material, because we have enough knowledge about material assets.
A lot of people still feeling very unsure about how should we define the social in the social entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And now we have the social capital, so is there any difference, or how do you see it?
Well, if we try to define it, it starts to get very academic. So I would say it's easier to stay with this, what I call the indicators: friendliness, helpfulness, yes, trust. And if we focus on these indicators or these qualities, on these values even, we can easier define social capital and social entrepreneurship, because it's easier to access. Why? Because we all have it. Mm-hmm. We all can be helpful. We all can have trust. And it's there yet. It's not a special status to be a social entrepreneur. And it's not a special status to be a shareholder in social capital. Everybody has got it.
Can you please share with me a couple of interesting observations that you have from your research where you measure the social capital, between the countries?
Well, one very interesting thing is I'm doing a so-called social capital assessment in today 98 countries. And most of the countries, the people, when we ask them, they downsize their country. So they see it worse than it is. Okay. That's a quite interesting observation. And I was thinking about it, why they do it. And the answer was they want to give the impression that they are honest with us. They don't want to give the impression that they want to lie, that they want to make something better than it is. And so they are making it worse. So the social capital we measure in these countries is much lower than in reality. That's a very interesting phenomenon.
Mm-hmm. What is the future of social capital? How should we work with it?
Well, of course, I hope that what we do, the social capital monitor, will be accepted as GDP. So that means you have a social capital monitor for every community, for a village, for a town, for a suburb, for a country. And with this indicator, you can try to develop social aims, health, security, and take care that the assets, the strongnesses of these communities are used. Because what we find out is where this community is strong, where the asset is. We're not asking for absent things. Okay. We're only asking for existing assets. So if a community is very strong in hospitality, and if it's their major asset, which is the case in many poor countries, by the way,
yeah, exactly.
Yes,
yeah.
Then we have to do everything to use this asset, the asset hospitality, to build an economy and politics around. Huh?
Okay, yeah. I could also envision, when we have a future where every company, regardless whether they are social company or a traditional company, also measure their social capital as well, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm a bit an econometric who says, okay, social capital, let's make it an indicator, let's measure it. And to establish social capital as a serious part of politics and economy. Because if you cannot measure this and you say social capital is everything, is culture, is religion, is love, is social capital as well, you never end. So you never come to the point where you can say social capital is an indicator that can be measured and can be used for politics and to overcome poverty, for social cohesion, and so on.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
I hope so.
Yeah, I really think so. Yeah, so thank you so much for this short interview and sharing with us about social capital. So
Yeah, thank you, Julie.
let's make social capital. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Yes. Bye.
All right. Thank you.
It's great what you do here.
Thank you.